Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Language Arts Gallery. Today, we're going to talk about writing a book review for young writers. So please remember to subscribe to my channel so you get all of the videos in this genre of writing. I'm going to cover 5 different lessons on writing a book review. And if you're interested in finding this resource and all 5 of those lessons, they are linked in my video description. You can find those in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. So let's go ahead and get started with an introduction to writing a book review for young learners. I think writing a book review is a very difficult genre of writing for young writers to grasp. This lesson is aimed at students 7 to 8 years old, so second or third graders. And I think the thing that makes it difficult is that it combines a lot of different skills. So first, we need to be able to summarize. So we've got to take that skill from our reading workshop and we've got to put that into our writer's workshop lesson. We need our students to be able to write a good short summary of the story that they've read. But we also need our students to make a recommendation. They have to share their opinion, and then they have to call their audience to act. So we're bringing in very basic elements of opinion writing and of persuasive writing, and that's a difficult task for a 7 or an 8-year-old. But we're going to follow this simple structure, and hopefully that makes it a little bit easier for our students. So I begin and I ask my students, what's their favorite book? And this is something kids love to share on. What's your favorite story and why do you love it? And then I'm going to introduce the structure of a book review. And again, ours is really simple. We want our students to tell the title of the story that they love, the author, if they know the author, a short summary of the book, their feelings about it. They love it, they don't love it. If it's their favorite book, hopefully they love it. Reasons why they love it, and making that recommendation. Should other people read this book? So here in this lesson, I just finished reading a story called A Visit to the Desert with my students. So we reviewed A Visit to the Desert. And I'm not going to go through it and read this in its entirety, but you can pause the video and read it. You can also find this in my full Teachers Pay Teachers resource. It covers all those different parts of the book review that we just talked about. So I start with an introductory sentence that introduces the title of the book. In this case, I don't know the author, so I can't share it. A Visit to the Desert is a good book that tells the story of a boy, Tim, who goes to visit his grandmother in the desert in Arizona. Now I've got to write a short summary of what happened in the book. It's great if you're reviewing something that you covered in reading workshop to practice summarizing with your students during reading workshop so they can take that skill and transfer it over to writing workshop. In the beginning of the story, Tim doesn't want to go to visit his grandmother. He wants to spend the summer with his friends. When he arrives in the desert, Tim learns about the many interesting animals there and how they survive in the heat. By the end of the story, Tim is having such a great time that he doesn't want to leave. So that's very simple, just beginning, middle, and end. Then we want our students to tell why they like the book. I like this book because it was fun to read and includes a lot of interesting information about desert animals. I also like that Tim was able to change his mind about something that made him unhappy. I learned that it's important to keep an open mind about things. I think that's a terrific explanation. Why did you like the book? And what did you learn from it? And finally, the author ends with a suggestion about who should read the book. This book taught me a lot, and it was an interesting story. If you like learning about animals and how they survive in nature, then this is a great book for you. That's something I try to teach my students. A lot of students will just say, you should read this book. You shouldn't read this book. Who should read it? that's something I try to elicit from them. Tell me, who do you think would be interested in reading that book, and include that in your book review. Okay, so we've got our basic graphic organizer here, okay, where we've got our summary, what happened at the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. And we've got our opinion and our reason. Okay, and we've got a model of that. And then students are going to work through their own graphic organizer, which I've included in the lesson. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to subscribe so you get all 5 videos in this genre. And I'll see you next time where we'll be talking about day 2 of a book review.